Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to the 5-week A.S.P.C crash course. So what I'm gonna be doing here is I'm gonna be teaching you guys about a model that I've been using for a while now. I call it the A.C.P.C business model, and I never really shared it before. I mean, if you've been on my social media for any amount of time, you could probably I've definitely shared different aspects of it, but overall, I never really broke it down exactly like how I you know use this model to maximize my growth and stay basically just keep my income flows coming in from different angles. So basically, four different income streams, or you could call them verticals from in the home care or the senior care market. So obviously, assisted living, home care, placement, and then C is for a consultant. Everybody, if you hear, I do some consulting as well. Um, so what we're going to cover over the next 5 weeks in this training is obviously week one. We're going to talk about home care. I'm not sure. I might talk about placement first because that's a strategy that has like the lowest like you can start immediately because there's no license requirement and all of that stuff that you have to deal with, like getting licensed with home care or assisted living. You definitely have to get a go through a licensing process. But if you start with placement, you could just get going. So I'm just thinking about changing these slides around and doing placement first, and then going into home care, and then assisted living, and then consultant. So that's what we're gonna be. That's what I wanted to come and share with you guys today. Just some of the things that comes with each one of these strategies and how I use them to you know to maximize my income and also maximize my marketing. And when I say that to say every lead must be monetized. That's like a mantra of mine. Like every lead that comes through my funnel, however it comes through our system, we got to figure out a way to monetize. So if they're a home care, they calling, they looking for home care, we got to be able to, we gonna find a caregiver for them and get somebody over there with their family and start them get them on as a client, as a home care client. If they're looking for assisted living, either if we don't got no beds, we got referral partners who got beds. Where we can do run them through our placement services, where we can only have so many assisted livings, right? So it's always, but our marketing never stops, and that's what I talk about a lot. I try to tell people, like, never stop your marketing. Always, no matter what, never stop the marketing. Always keep your ads running, whether that's Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram. Not a lot of seniors on Instagram. I don't get a lot of seniors on there, but Facebook definitely, and Google obviously. But whatever you're doing, whatever you're doing, if you're out in the community with the, developing relationships with referral sources, never stop. And and start immediately and never stop. And I say start immediately, even if you don't have a home care service. Like I said, we can always go to the placement, but we'll get to that as we move along. But as you see here, it's 56 million Americans currently over the age 65, and they're growing at a 3% annually, and that number is going to continue to increase because this is an old country. This is older population. So we got the majority of the people in this country are eventually going to be seniors. So 70% of seniors will need some form of long-term care. 70%. The other 30, they obviously just not gonna make it. You know what I mean? Or, either they're gonna die younger or their family is gonna take care of them. But we got a big chunk of that population, 70% of that population that we could take care of with the home from a home care perspective is what we're looking at here. The average rate has went up significantly since I started. Believe it or not, I was charging when I first came into this business over, say, probably 12 years now. I think we was probably charging our lowest pay, like our first client was probably, we was probably charging 15 dollars an hour. Can you believe that? We were charging 15, 16, and paying caregivers like 9 and 10, and it was okay. It wasn't like it sounds crazy now, but we was paying caregivers like $10 and they was okay with that. But it was a different economy, obviously, before COVID. Everything like we had like a huge inflation and a huge change during COVID. But um 20 the average being $28 an hour, and this is Maryland too. This isn't necessarily the whole country. I'm not gonna say every state is every market. We're not gonna say state, but like different regions have different pay rates. So the South is pretty consistent with it with each other. So like certain parts of the South, like Alabama, Mississippi, um, Louisiana, they got like a certain, certain parts of Texas, they got like a certain pay that's kind of similar. California, they're in their own world. And then when you get to like the Pacific Northwest or the like Minnesota and stuff like that up there, Wisconsin, you get some crazy numbers too. They're really high. So you could probably they like their average might be like 30, 35, stuff like that. But this where I'm at in Maryland in the East Coast, mid-Atlantic, we're seeing $28 an hour on average. So that's really good. I mean, obviously you can charge more, that's the average. So you can go lower or you can charge more. Um what I like to do, I have like a scale based on need, but I'm always trying to stay under. And this is the leverage that we have as agencies that don't have huge overhead. And I've always been I'm big on low overhead. Like if I can cut it, I'm gonna cut it. Or if I can find a better way to do it, but stay efficient, I'm gonna do it. Or stay effective, I'm gonna do it. So I always want to be under the immediate competition in the market. So if I'm talking to a lead and we're talking to a lead, a potential client, and they're saying, oh, we've been getting quoted 32, 34, 33, I'm gonna try to come in at 30, 29.50. You know what I'm saying? Just so I can have that leverage. Um, we offer the same quality of care. All of our caregivers are trained, licensed, we're licensed, everything is the same, all things the same. We got the experience that we have. All things the same, all things considered the same. They're gonna go with the cheaper rate because at the end of the day, this is an hourly rate, and if the more hours they get, the more it's gonna cost them. So they're gonna look for the lower rate. So, um, and then we got 300K is the potential annual revenue for established agencies. That's just the numbers. So, not saying that you should expect that on your first year, maybe not even your second or your third year, but within 5 years, if you stay consistent, that's not going to be 300K a year will not be a big, it won't be hard to do in 3 or 4 years. You'll be surprised. Excuse me, taking a drink, but what I will say is that's not profit. That's potential revenue. So just because you generate 300K, obviously you don't take 300K home, or you don't profit. And then you got taxes and all that stuff as well. Um, staffing costs and marketing, staffing, or staffing, marketing, taxes in that order is where your money is gonna go. And taxes can be, if you got a good accountant, you got a CPA on your team and know what they're doing, you should be do well with taxes or do better than. And then marketing, you just got to be smart, be savvy. I feel like the best marketing and branding that you can do for your home care business or any one of these three businesses is to start building relationships. So yeah, let's go. I don't want to spend too much time here. So licenses. So just some of the things that we're going to talk about in the home care week. So we're going to do 5 weeks, and we're going to go right through this stuff. It's like a crash course. That's what we calling it, the crash course. So We're gonna go through this stuff in 1 week. We're gonna talk about license, business structure, branding and setup. Start small, but plan for growth. Most states require licenses for medical and non-medical, insurance costs and stuff like that. We're gonna cover all of that stuff in week. Like I said, I don't know if I'm gonna do week 1 or week 2, but we definitely gonna cover home care. So be looking forward to that. We're gonna talk about caregiver recruitment and operations, how to find quality caregivers, how to set up scheduling systems using low budget or free tools, documents, how to document everything, make sure you document everything and then getting everything digitized. So make sure you got good everything in the cloud and you're taking good records and good notes because it's all you always when you're dealing with like long-term care insurance and Medicaid and stuff like that, it's all about notes and tracking your tr track tracking everything that's going on with the clients, with the patient or whatever you're gonna call them. And then communicating effectively throughout your whole organization with your caregivers, with the families, um, partners, staff, whatever, just make sure there's always good communication. And like we were saying before, we're going to discuss in the home care week, we're going to discuss pricing models, services and packages. These are just some generic numbers. We're going to get into it on that home care week. We're going to get into like the prices for hourly care, live-in care, um, part-time, stuff like that, respite and stuff like that. So, and then talk about different ways that you can offer tiered packages and value add services, stuff like that. So yeah, that's the pricing models piece, and that's what we're gonna do. And then week 1, like I said, this is a crash course, and we want you to really be able to take this 5-week course and run with it. You know what I mean? Take this 5-week course and get started, and really make some progress. So secure, you're gonna secure your business license. If you're starting out with just the placement agency, you could get started really quickly, but obviously if you're doing the home care, you're gonna have to get, research your state requirements, submit your applications, register your business and all of that stuff, get your EINs and your LLCs and your proof of good standing and all that good stuff. Um, so that's some stuff you can knock out in 1 week. This is your 1 week action plan. You can handle this stuff before you get to that next week. Um, in this training. So post job advertisement, at least if you don't even post nothing yet, you can at least get your Indeed's account set up, your LinkedIn account set up so you can start posting jobs, build client intake systems. We'll talk about different CRMs to manage your manage your leads and stuff like that. And like Zoho. So, when people call and you want to make sure you got your leads, like the families they call, and then you got your referral sources, the people that you meet, and you want to make sure you're putting all of these people to a database so you can continue to follow up and send emails, make phone calls, do visits and stuff like that. You want to have all this stuff in one place and in that CRM, which means customer relationship management. So and then create a starter care schedule. And you could just kind of think about so we got a really cheap system that you could use that's not really a home care system but it works well with home care, so we'll be discussing that as well. So let's hop into what week 2 will be. So week 2, like I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to do week 1 or week 2 with the placement service model, but placement is, in a nutshell, you're finding residents for other people's assisted livings and getting paid a referral fee, which I think is an amazing way to get into the home care business. If you're not licensed or if you don't have assisted living, you can start here. And why you can start here and what makes it so lucrative that you start here is that you don't have to own a facility. You just match clients with existing communities, and there's no overhead fee. All you need is some transportation, a cell phone, and a laptop. You really don't even need a laptop because your phone can do everything your computer could do for the most part. But the key is getting out into the community and start really building these referral sources, which is going to turn around and eventually feed back into everything else. So when you're building these relationships with these potential referral sources, and then you build these relationships with these assisted livings, this is all going to turn back into the rest of the business model of your home care and your assisted living, because now once you're you have these people calling you looking for a placement, guess what? You got your assisted living. And now, not only, not, and majority of the times, everybody's not from, every referral source is not going to just send you people that's looking for placement. Most people still want to live at home. So this what makes this a really good model. If you want to get started, you want to get out here in the senior community in your marketplace and start networking, you're getting your brochures, your business cards out, and you're getting yourself known. You're building relationships. That's the most important thing, is building those relationships, because these relationships can last you a lifetime in this industry, in this business, because they're going to because seniors are constantly coming through these different organizations and through these different facilities, through these different rehab centers, nursing homes, and hospitals, where you're building these relationships. These are the relationships you want to be building now. Even if you don't have a home care service or assisted living, you can start with this placement agency and start making money immediately. That's why we really excited to share this with you guys, because it's just something, I know everybody's in different situations, and not everybody can just jump out there and figure out the license, or pay somebody to get them the license, or just go rent a house separate from the house that they live in, or buy a second home, or be prepared to convert their home into an assisted living. Start with the placement agent, get your feet wet, build some networking up, build some relationships, build some capital. The minimum you should be asking from a placement is half of first month rent. That's the minimum. So if they're charging 4,000 a month, you should at least get two. If they charging 6,000, you should at least get three, or something really close to it, because that's the industry standard. So don't think that you're asking for a lot of money. No, this person that they're getting is going to stay with them an average of 13 months. So if you're getting one half of first month's rent, and 9 times out of 10, they're charging first month's rent, security deposit, and a community fee. So they busting them up as soon as they come through the door. Most people are doing that. So they might be getting a check for like 10,000, 10, 15,000, just to get them people's bedroom set up. All you asking for is half of 1 month's rent, or something very close to it, or full months. Because some people, sometimes you can negotiate 100% of first month rent, and it just depends on your negotiation, your relationship, and how you come across with these different facilities. Because you're gonna this strategy consists of building strong relationships with assisted livings, and strong relationships with referral sources. Like I said, and the referral sources is going to be what you really need moving forward. So we're going to be talking about the intake and matching process, discovery call, tours and selections, assessments, the information that you need to be getting from the resident, from the potential resident who you're going to refer. That's what this part is about. And then building the facility partnerships. We're going to discuss building the facility partnerships, understanding how to create a win-win relationship for long-term partnerships. Know your each community, so you know what each community had, the pros and cons of each community, and understanding with your families, or the people who you're referring to these facilities, knowing what they want, and being able to make that agreement, and establish clear agreements with documentation. Because you got to be careful, because you don't want to just take somebody over there without proper documentation, and they put them in there, and you ain't got nothing on paper. They could be like, I don't know what you're talking about. So you want to make sure you got everything established, and you create a great situation with these facilities, and you also make sure you got your documents straight, your paperwork straight. Outreach and relationship tracking. So this is just, we're just gonna cover the importance of weekly outreach plan, your CRM system setup, that's your customer relationship management system, and then your communication templates, introduction emails, follow-up calls, thank you notes, monthly updates, referral confirmation messages, stuff like that you need to have in place when you're dealing with these different referrals, referral sources, residents or potential residents, and the assisted livings. Where you take where you'll be referring these residents to and their families to. So action plan, contact assisted living for partnerships, create assessment forms, establish pricing structures, and build a simple CRM system. And then obviously draft your contracts and stuff like that. We're going to be discussing as well. Assisted livings. So 4 bedroom, these are some of the numbers here. What we're going to be discussing when it comes to assisted living. I talk about it pretty a lot on my page a lot. So you might see some numbers and stuff floating around, different what you could make 4,000 a month. A 3 bedroom you could turn into a comfortable 4 bed facility. A 4 bedroom you could turn to a comfortable 6 bed facility, getting four four between $4,000 to $6,000 per bed, depending on the level of care and depending on the bells and whistles, features and benefits that your facility actually has. We're going to discuss all of that stuff, and these are some, this is a really strong model for wealth building. It's a great model for taxes. Owning that real estate and being able to depreciate and write a lot of those things off with a great tax team, a facility is great for that as well. Obviously, you got to go through zoning, state licensing, safety and compliance, ADA, accessibility and stuff like that. And these are some of the things we're going to cover in this 1 week. Like I said, it's a crash course. 1 week, we're going to cover a lot of stuff, so you're gonna have to be, on it. And then obviously you're gonna get the record and stuff like that. But you're going to have access to the information as well. So staff roles and facility operations, delegate nurse, the administrator, the manager. When I say administrator, I mean the assisted living manager, caregivers, and when I say dietary staff, them are trained caregivers to prepare meals and stuff like that. So these are some of the things we're going to be discussing as well. I just came back from work from running with that dog. I'm a little parched, so I'm back here drinking. I'm sorry. Um, Emissions and family communication. We're gonna talk about trans transparent pricing structure, the admissions process, comprehensive admission process, and family trust building with like weekly calls, updates, monthly care plan reviews, quarterly family meetings, and transparent incident reporting. You want to make sure if anything happened that you're staying on top of that. And again, your state is going to manage this, so there's going to be a lot of state requirements and policies and stuff that we're going to have to discuss on this assisted living module. So we're going to discuss identify the potential property, create a facility layout plan, define staff structure. Everybody got their different ways of doing it. I got an interesting way to do mine. Draft resident onboarding packages. We're gonna discuss all of that this that in that week, and then I'm gonna also give you guys um some extra content for policies and procedures and stuff like that as well. All the stuff that we got in our package, you guys have access to that. For the home care assisted living, I'm going to give you like the business in the box and the starter kit in this training as well. So week 4, position your brand consistency, multi-channel presence. So this is what we're going to talk about. You being the community liaison in the beginning, and then eventually hiring a community liaison. The community liaison is driving everything back into the system, which consists of assisted living, home care, and placement. That's the system. The community liaison is out there in the community, driving leads back to all 3 of those what we call verticals at this point. So then besides the community liaison, you're gonna have your digital marketing going, your digital lead generation, and your referral source cultivation, and then community education. So referral source cultivation and community education. That's something that your community liaison is gonna have to focus on. And then probably I would suggest somebody in the office or in home or you in-house should learn how to do digital marketing, at least create ads with all these different AI tools and all these different tutorials and stuff on the internet. You should be able to figure out how to run solid Facebook ads, well, meta ads, and that covers Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, uh, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram Messenger, and everything under the Meta umbrella. You run ads through Meta, and then Google Ads. There's enough information out there. We help as well getting your ads set up, so you can always hire us. But the digital lead generation is imperative. You want to start with at least $10 a day. I would suggest $10 a day, $300 a month. On ads, and then that's important. But then the main thing, if the first thing I would suggest is getting out in the community, developing referral sources in the community, shaking hands, meeting people, passing out business cards, really getting to know people, visiting the hospitals, physician offices, rehabs, nursing homes, stuff like that. That's first. That's first. Getting these people into your database, following up with them after you go make that call. I mean, make that visit, following up with them, letting them know that you're excited to work with them, get more to, set up another um a deeper meeting, and then get off into different things, how you guys can help each other, how you can help them with placement, home care, and assisted living, and then how they can what they may need in their facility or in their organization that your agency could bring to create that win-win, besides just them sending you referrals, because there's a lot of opportunities there. So just some of the stuff we're going to be discussing. And then week 5 is consulting opportunities. I never talked about coaching. I felt like that was like my little secret weapon. You know what I mean? So when things got slow or whatever, or just to keep me busy and keep me sharp, I would always just teach this stuff. They say you get better if you teach something, you get better at it, and you think about it more, you think about it deeper. So that's what I've been doing for the last, you know, probably 8, 9 years. Has just been coaching. So we got into business, and then a lot of people was, friends and families asking us like, how you do this, how you do that. So I said, man, let's start coaching. So we've been coaching for years now. And what I want to do is show you guys is how to monetize your expertise once you get there. I wouldn't suggest opening this assisted living tomorrow and then starting a coaching program the month after that. I want you to get some experience first. I want you to, get some, real world real life experiences that you actually went through as a owner and operator before you get out here and try to tell somebody something, because you don't want to, I'm really um particular about what I tell people, because I don't want to tell them something I didn't did, or no something that I didn't do, or some theory. I want to make sure I'm giving people information on stuff that actually worked for me personally, and then I can help them and be more confident in my ability to help them. So that's something we're going to talk about as well. How you guys can set up different consulting programs within your facility, within your home care and stuff like that. So that's it. That's the whole model. Assisted living, um, home care, placement, consulting. That's the model. And I want to share with you guys with this 5-week crash course. I'm looking forward to you guys tapping in and seeing what we got to offer. I'm looking forward to working with you and see what else we got here. Launching your consultation business. It's really, you just gonna maximize you're gonna learn how to maximize your expertise. Putting this stuff in like a pre-recorded program, launching it. You really love it. You can start a podcast. You can do webinars. You can do real live boot camps. It's just the world is yours as long as like I would say, start by doing it first. Work it for a year. Work it for 2 years. Get really good at it. Get comfortable with what you're doing. Have some success in home care. Have some success in assisted living. Have some success in placement. Then go into the consultant. Some people skip the whole industry. They don't do no business, but they go straight to the consultant. They go listen to everybody else's content and then go just regurgitate it, package it up, change the logo, and now they experts. And they never had one home care client. They never owned no facilities. They never placed one resident, but they telling you how to do it. So I don't want you guys to be like that. Get out here, do the stuff, learn it, then take your expertise, and make some money on your experience. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I don't feel like I don't feel threatened by it, because it's like everybody got their own niche, their own style. Everybody don't go with everybody. So my crowd like me, I got a kind of unorthodox, straightforward way of talking, and the way I am, my social, my brand. It's me who I am. Everybody got their own thing, so I don't feel threatened or because that's something I was thinking in the beginning. I was like, "Damn, should I tell this?" I said, "No, I got my own. I'm me, so I can't be worried about somebody else because they're gonna do it totally different. Because nobody can do what I do personally, and whatever I get is for me, and whatever they get, that's for them, and it's enough for everybody because it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it's enough for everybody. It's like it's enough residents, it's enough caregivers, it's enough placement leads. It's just like it's enough consulting opportunities. Everybody's, and then you might take my my program, my boot camp, my training, and then go get some more. And it's because it's all education, so you don't ever want to just stop. Like, oh, okay, I passed elementary school. I'm gonna go to middle school. I'm gonna go to high school, college. Like it's different levels. It's training that I'm getting into that I gotta. It's $5,000 just to walk into the classroom. So a lot of people not charging that at this level. Obviously, my stuff is real cheap. I make it. I think about where I was in the beginning, what I can afford, and that's how I create my pricing. And that's the market that I'm talking to. I'm really talking to the people in the early startup phase. That's my niche. That's where I feel like I'm comfortable at helping people get launched. And if you want to scale it and take it to the, millions and, multi-millions and, huge facilities, that's not really my bracket. I understand smaller residences, 6 bed, 10 bed, 12 bed, stuff like that. But you start talking about 50 units building from the ground up, I'm in that same class with you. You know what I mean? Because I'm trying to learn that next phase as well. So when I look at the consultant, that's how I see it. Like it's room for everybody. Um, all I suggest is when you do get into this stuff, make sure you're authentic, you're yourself, and you're sharing experiences that you actually had. So with that being said, we're gonna get into some. I'm gonna start I'm gonna share this video around. Make sure you guys see it. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, AllenChaneydom. My phone number's everywhere, emails everywhere. And if you have any questions about getting into this program, this 5-week crash course, you'll see it on my socials, and then you'll see it on the Allen Chaney website. It'll be up there shortly. So thanks for checking us out. Talk to you later. Peace.